They say love begins in a heartbeat. But for her, it began in silence. Between dust, horses, and a whisper in the barn. For years, Elena had lived behind the lens of her camera, capturing the world while hiding from it. The town she grew up in had a long memory and a short list of acceptable dreams. Hers wasn't on it, so she left. But sometimes, the places we run from are the very ones we need to return to, just to find out who we've become when we're no longer trying to fit in. This time, she wasn't coming back as the girl who left, but as a photographer with a job to do. Her assignment: capture the soul of the heartland. Little did she know, she was about to find the heart of her own story. The old ranch smelled of hay, leather, and something that felt like forgotten time. As she stepped out of her car, the city noise faded, replaced by the gentle nicker of a horse and the rhythmic clang of a hammer on metal. There he was, Jake. He was mending a saddle, his hands sure and steady, his focus absolute. He was a part of this place, as natural as the oak trees that lined the drive. He looked up as she approached, and a slow smile spread across his face, crinkling the corners of his eyes. "Back already? Didn't scare you off last time, huh?" Elena managed a shy smile, clutching her camera like a shield. No, horses don't judge like people do. She'd meant it as a simple observation, a throwaway line. But the way he looked at her, it was different. He wasn't looking at the camera, or her worn-out boots, or the story the town told about her. He was just looking at her. "Neither do real people," he said, his voice gentle but firm. "Just the ones who are too small inside to look up." The words hung in the air between them. Was he talking about her height, a subject of teasing since childhood, or the invisible weight of her pain? It didn't matter. She didn't know if he was talking about her height or her pain. But either way, it felt like the first kind word she'd heard in years. It was a simple sentence, but it unlocked something in her, a tiny door she'd kept bolted shut for a long time. Maybe, just maybe, this place wasn't a cage, but a key. The days that followed fell into a quiet rhythm. Elena would arrive with the morning light, her camera her constant companion. Jake would already be at work, moving with a calm purpose that seemed to soothe the very air around him. She photographed him mending fences, training a young colt, his movements a dance of patience and strength. But it was his connection with the horses that truly captivated her. Today, he was with a beautiful chestnut mare named Daisy, brushing her coat until it shone like polished mahogany. Elena framed the shot, the morning sun filtering through the barn slats, illuminating the dust motes like tiny dancing stars. "You treat her like a friend, not a horse," Elena observed softly, lowering her camera. Jake paused, running a hand along Daisy's neck. The mare leaned into his touch, her eyes soft. "She's got feelings too," he replied, his gaze meeting Elena's. "Animals know when they're seen, just like people." The words hit her with unexpected force. Seen. That was it. That was the one thing she'd always craved, and always hidden from. To be truly seen, not for the labels the town had given her, but for the person she was underneath. A tear pricked the corner of her eye, and she quickly looked down at her camera, pretending to adjust a setting, hiding the sudden rush of emotion. She realized, maybe Jake saw everyone that way. Not as labels, but as souls. He didn't see the girl who ran away, or the quiet photographer. He just saw Elena, and in his quiet, unassuming way, he was showing her that it was okay to be seen, that she was worthy of it. For the first time, she felt her own walls begin to crumble, not with a crash, but with the gentle erosion of kindness. The ranch was becoming more than just a job. It was becoming a sanctuary. The sky, which had been a brilliant blue just an hour ago, was now a canvas of bruised purple and grey. The first drops of rain hit the dusty ground, fat and slow, before the heavens opened up in a sudden downpour. Jake, who was showing Elena the new foals in the far pasture, laughed. "Well, looks like we're running for it," he shouted over the growing roar of the rain. They dashed towards the main barn, their laughter mixing with the storm. They tumbled inside, breathless and soaked, shaking water from their hair like a pair of drenched puppies. The world outside was a cascade of grey, but inside the barn, it was warm and smelled of sweet hay and earth. "Well, guess we're stuck here till it stops," Jake said, leaning against a post, his smile easy and unbothered. Elena looked around at the cozy shelter, the sound of the rain a comforting drumbeat on the tin roof. "I don't mind," she said, and she meant it. The frantic energy of the city, the constant pressure to be someone else, felt a million miles away. Here, in this simple space, she felt calm. Jake's eyes found a guitar resting on a hay bale, its wood worn smooth from use. He picked it up, settling onto the bale and strumming a soft, melancholic chord. The notes blended perfectly with the rhythm of the rain, creating a melody that was both sad and hopeful. He looked at her, his expression thoughtful. "My dad used to say, you can't teach the sky to be smaller, so don't you try." Elena watched him, her breath caught in her throat. The simple wisdom of it, spoken so plainly, resonated deep within her. All her life, she had been trying to make herself smaller, to fit into the tiny boxes people had built for her. She had shrunk her dreams, quieted her voice, dimmed her own light. She whispered, more to herself than to him, "I wish someone had told me that sooner." Jake's strumming softened, and he just looked at her, a silent understanding passing between them. In that moment, surrounded by the storm, she felt as though she were finally, truly, sheltered. The rain began to soften, its drumming on the roof fading to a gentle patter. The world outside was washed clean, and a sliver of golden light broke through the clouds, cutting a bright path through the barn's open door. Jake put the guitar aside and stood up. He walked over to her, his shadow stretching long in the afternoon light. He stopped just a few feet away, close enough that she could feel the warmth radiating from him. His voice was low, intimate, a stark contrast to the storm that had just passed. "You ever notice," he began, his gaze steady and unwavering, "you don't fit in this town because you were never meant to. You were meant to rise above it." Her heart hammered against her ribs. Each word was a key, turning a lock she didn't even know was there. He wasn't just talking about the town. He was talking about her life, her fears, her self-imposed limits. He saw her potential, the strength she had tried so hard to hide. The barn, which had felt so spacious just moments before, suddenly felt too small for the sheer size of the emotions swelling between them. It was more than just attraction. It was recognition. He saw her, the real her, the one who was meant for more than just fitting in. And in that quiet barn, surrounded by the scent of rain and the warmth of a shared understanding, a cowboy's words planted something new in her. Belief. Belief in herself. As he stood there, a silhouette against the light, she raised her camera, but not to hide. This time, it was to capture the moment, to hold on to this feeling forever. And as the camera clicked, a smile spread across her face. Not a shy, hesitant smile, but a real one. A bright, genuine, hopeful smile that reached all the way to her eyes. Through the open barn door, the world looked new, washed clean and full of light. And for the first time in a very long time, so did she. Thank you so much for watching our story unfold. If you were touched by Elena and Jake's journey, please give this video a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button. We have so many more stories to share with you. We'll see you in the next one.